Hey everybody, it's Jen. I'm gonna do a really quick labor and delivery and update. Um, so on January 4th, I had a follow-up appointment. Oops, sorry. I'm doing this on my other camera, so I've never done it on here before. So January 4th, I had a doctor's appointment for follow-up. I think it was at 8:30 in the morning. Or maybe it was at 10:30, I don't remember. And as I talked about before, I had to do blood pressure logs. They wanted me to take my blood pressure 4 times a day. And I was already on blood pressure medication. Sorry, it's a dump truck. The max for the kind that I was on. And my blood pressure logs, like for the past week or whatever, since my last appointment, had been running high. So when I went in, I saw my doctor, or one of the doctors there anyways, and it was really uncomfortable, and I was starting to get really I don't know, anxious really bad. I was constantly worried about everything, and indigestion was just keeping me up at night. And actually the night before my doctor's appointment, I only got like 2 hours of sleep. I woke up at 2:30 in the morning, and I just stayed up, and I didn't go to bed until like, I went to bed around 11 or 12, I can't remember. But I couldn't sleep anyway, so going into my doctor's appointment, I was really exhausted. And the doctor decided that because my blood pressure had been high, he wanted me to go over to labor and delivery, and they were going to monitor the baby's heartbeat and my blood pressure. So they did that, and I was actually admitted just because my blood pressure had been high, at home and stuff like that. And the doctor said depending on what they, like how my blood pressure was at that time, they may induce me then, or at the latest that I would be induced the next morning. So they didn't induce me that night, but they did give me something called a cervidile, which I'd never heard of. And it's just like this long string thing that has like a gel at the end. And they tuck it up somewhere, I think. I don't know where they tuck it. Maybe around the uterus. I don't, somewhere up there anyways. And it's supposed to help with the effacement because I was only 2 centimeters dilated and 30 to 40% effaced at that appointment. And so that night at like 8 or 9, they gave me the cervidile. And that gave me such bad contractions. Like, they came on so fast. Within like an hour and a half, I was having really bad contractions, like really strong. And they were off the charts there when I was hooked up to the belt or the monitor. And they were anywhere from every 45 seconds to a minute and a half. And it was like, it was getting really bad, like around 10:30, 11. And finally, they gave me some pain medication because I told them, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to sleep, and if I'm going to be pushing around tomorrow, like, there's no way I was going to be able to sleep through those contractions every 45 seconds. They were just way too intense. So they ended up taking the cervidile out at 12:30 because they were saying that my contractions were just so strong and so close together. And they weren't going to break my water or anything until the following morning at 7. So they took that out at 12:30. The next morning, she told me she was just going to strip my membranes, which I thought was just something that they go on and do with the finger. And she hooked this thing into Jade's head that I guess monitors a heartbeat too, and it broke my water. She does that sometimes when she's sleeping, but she might be waking up. Anyways, and so they did that, and my water, it didn't gush out all at once, but a good amount gushed out at first. And so I can't remember how much I can't remember how much I dilated whatever the next day. Wow, I'm having really bad brain farts, I'm sorry. We have to do a part 2 to this. Oh gosh. So they broke my water. And then they started giving me Pitocin. And so then the contractions started getting really bad again. And they didn't know when I was going to get the epidural. And so I asked, well, they gave me more pain medication until I could, which I really didn't want to take any of that, but they were just so bad. And, you know, not knowing when I was going to get the epidural, I'm like, you know, I could go all day like this. And so anyways, they gave me more pain meds, and then the doctor came in to do the epidural, and that was horrible. I hate needles, and it took him 3 tries to get the epidural in the right spot. And the first time she's like, oh, you know, you didn't get it in the right spot, and it was so painful because they stick a needle in, and then they stick a hollow tube in, and then they stick this wire down, or the tube to administer the medication down in that hollow needle. And when they do that, they look for it to hit some nerves, and it's this pain shot down my right leg for the first one, and for some reason he didn't like that one, so he did it again, and the pain shot down. Well, I can't remember the second time. The second time it didn't take either, and then the third time it shot down my left leg, and it was so bad. But I started crying when they told me they had to do it again. Oh, Peanut's awake. Let me show you my Peanut. Oh, these are, this thing right here is really handy. It's on both sides to prevent her from rolling over on her stomach. And she has really bad, I believe, acid reflux. So as you can see, she's propped up on a pillow here, which I know they say not to do. You can see the pillow back here. This is a towel we keep under her in case she pees, because she does that sometimes. But this prevents her from rolling over and suffocating herself, so and she's kind of slithering down in it now because normally her arms are way up here. But yeah, I'm gonna have to do part 2 because she's hungry. She sticks her fists in her mouth all the time. She's so cute. Oh. She does whine like that sometimes when she's sleeping for like a minute or two, and then she'll stop and fall back asleep, and that'll be it. So maybe that's what she just did. But I'm at over 8 minutes anyway, so I'm gonna do a part 2.